guys aren't gonna believe this, but I just had a whole entire take of rod talk for like 30 minutes and I wasn't recording. Embarrassing. But anyway, what I wanted to do today is talk about gear. And I wanted to address expensive versus cheap gear. And I want to talk about how you might end up with some of the same things that I have. I didn't think I'd be a big rod and reel guy. I didn't think I'd be a collector of gear and put together all different packages for different styles of fishing. But over time, I started to learn there were pockets and voids of improvement that I needed to fill in. Certain rods and certain reels started to fill the voids with the things that I needed, so I bought it. You really don't need any or all of this stuff. You just need a good solid rod and reel and you can make it work. But let's start through what I've got. I'll tell you about it and then we'll go from there. First on the list, this is probably one of my most budget-friendly rod and reel combos, and it's probably gonna end up being one of my favorites. It's a Pissy Fun Torrent rod. If you haven't heard about these or learned about these, go online and search these on YouTube. There's some really good reviews on these rods. They're a budget rod, $58 on Amazon. I'll put the links below. I have a Cast King Royal Legend Elite reel. I really love this reel. It's not anything major. It's very palmable. It almost looks like a Lew's body. It casts like a dream. It works like a dream. It's 70 bucks. It's worth a look. So this is my square bill treble hook rod. It's 6 foot 8 inches. It's moderate, so it's got like a moderate fast tip and a moderate bend. So this is gonna be perfect for fighting the fish a little bit softer on those treble hooks. So I would definitely look at this combo because you're looking at 70 bucks for the reel, 58 for the rod. You're under 150 bucks for the combo. Second rod I want to talk about and reel, it's probably my favorite combination and it's probably the one I would grab if I didn't know what I was fishing that day. It's a 7 foot, they call it a spinnerbait rod, but it's basically a fast tip with a medium strength rod. And it's made for spinnerbaits and chatterbaits, but it can actually do everything. I can put square bills on here, I can put poppers. I've done the, of course, the spinnerbaits and chatterbaits. I can do topwater, I can do Texas rig. I do this little jig here, this big O with the big hook, and I can even do light frogs. So this thing can do everything. The reel I have on here is the Scorpion DC. And as you know, there's the SLX DC that's out there now, and then there's the DC 150. This has a better and more adjustable braking system than the other cheaper DC reels. You can get this for about $280 right now. So this rod, it only weighs 3.65 ounces. And I put this reel on here and I put 30-pound braid, and this is my all-around go-to, but I pretty much run spinner and chatterbaits on here, but if I need something else on here, I have no problem strapping it on and going for it. This one, since the reel costs a little bit more, it's $280. The rod's 100 bucks, so you're looking at about a $380 combo. That's a little bit more pricey, but if you're looking for something that was under 400 bucks as a combo, but is a great all-around rod reel combo, this would be one of my recommendations. I really like the Cast King Speed Demon Pro rod lineup. I don't know why, I just think they're really well made. All right, so this brings me to a story. The other day, I did this. So I totally cracked my G Loomis GLX rod on a hook set. I had 20-pound braid, the drag wasn't locked down, and yeah, I don't know why it broke. So I sent it back to G Loomis. I think they're gonna replace it. We'll see how it goes. But here's where I get into cheap versus expensive and is it worth it? That rod would go for $420. I found it from a guy on eBay for $320. I picked it up, brought it home, used it for about 2 weeks. 2 weeks later, it snapped. It was new, and it was not defective, and well, at least to my knowledge. So I sent it back to G Loomis. Now, here's the catch. G Loomis is going to charge me $50 processing fee to replace that rod, and I had to get it to him. So it was 39 bucks to get it to him, 50 bucks to change it out. That's going to be about 80, 85 bucks to do a full cycle return on this rod and reel. So I'm looking at it going, so I paid $320. I thought I saved 100. I broke it. And even if I get it replaced under warranty, I have to spend almost 100. So I'm back to the normal price. So there was no benefit there. And 100 bucks, I could buy the Speed Demon Pro rod. I could have just bought a different rod altogether and thrown that thing in the trash. But since I had paid so much for it, I need to get it replaced. Now, do you need such expensive gear? Obviously not. I mean, you can go to Walmart and get a combo, or Dick's and get a combo, and as long as you can cast the thing and reel in lures, you can catch fish. It doesn't matter. But I will say the GLX was super insanely sensitive. It was really great to fish with. It was really fun to use, super, super light. I loved all the benefits about it being expensive and high technology and all that. But honestly, I think in the future, I'm gonna think twice about buying expensive stuff because the stuff breaks. So I don't know, my head's tripping a little on that deal. But here's the rod that I got to replace it. I had some reels laying around. I had a Tournament Lose MB, or Lose Tournament MB reel. This is a really cool reel. This reel is really high quality. It's from Lose, so you know the manufacturer makes a high quality product. You know it's gonna last. When I first got this Lose reel, I put it on this Cast King rod. This is about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. And I, for whatever reason, couldn't dial in the casting on lighter baits with the Lose. And Pat and I tweaked around with it and played with it. He got it casting better for me, but I just couldn't make it work the way I wanted it to work. So what I decided to do was just throw heavier baits on it. Well, I just didn't use it that much because I didn't really have that situation where I needed this reel for heavier baits. But now I went out and I bought the new Pissy Fun Torrent. It's a 7'1" jig rod. Now this thing's extra fast, medium heavy, and this thing is sweet. It's super light, it's super strong. I know it's not gonna break. And finally, I can cast the heavier baits with this Lose, and I have a reel that matches the rod in terms of, strength and durability. So I'm really excited to use this. I've never used it or caught a fish yet. So this is a 7'1", fast, medium heavy. It's gonna be awesome for jigging. And the one thing that I was missing, I think, with the GLX, the G Loomis rod, it was a 6'8", extra fast, medium heavy, but the 6'8", I always felt like I needed a little bit more length to wheel that hook set. So maybe I was gearing up a little too heavy on it and that's why it broke. I don't know, but hopefully it's just a bad blank and it's a one-off chance that that happened. But anyway, this is my other rod that I like. So this might be taking over the G Loomis spot and I might be getting rid of the G Loomis. So keep your eyes and ears open for that. This is probably, I don't even know what to say about this rod and reel combo. I love this rod and reel combo. This is the Cast King Speed Demon Pro rod. I really like this rod series. I think they're great. But it's the Speed Demon Pro rod, and it's the 7'2" frog rod. Now, one thing I like about this rod, that jig rod that I have from Pissy Fun, that shaft down here near the handle is really fat and thick, which is fine because it kind of makes it broom handly and kind of stiff. But this frog rod has a little bit more give in it than you would think, and its shaft is not overly sized down here near the seat. And the other thing I like about these rods is they have like the real seats with the metal cranks instead of the little plastic parts. Again, the wind grips. But what really teams well for a frog rod on this is the Speed Demon Pro reel. I held off like a year from buying the DC products because I just didn't feel I needed any type of casting control mechanism because this thing seemed to work so good. It has a really tremendous braking system. I can dial this thing in to where whatever bait I'm throwing, I can bring it to a halt with very little overrun on the spool. So this is awesome. Definitely check this combo out. Cast King Speed Demon Pro rod. It's fast, heavy, frog rod, 7'2", and this thing has plenty of power, plenty of girth, but it really, really works well for frog fishing. And I love this combo because this 9-3-1 Speed Demon, it will burn those fish out of the weeds and get them out of that cover really quick. And it really helps you take up the slack when you go to set the hook. It's just an awesome combo. I would say probably of the two rods and reels, if I could just pick two, I'd pick both of the ones that are the Cast Kings because I love the rods, but I love the Shimano DC Scorpion on the one, and I love the Speed Demon Pro on the other. I mean, those two reels right now are probably my favorite. And I really like the Cast King Royal Legend Elite. So Cast King's got some really good reels out there right now. So if you're looking for some really hot reels for really low prices, check them out. And the DC product line is great. So, and I'm not like biased for one to the other. Nobody gives me any of this stuff for free. I haven't received any products from anyone. So this is just the stuff that I use. I hope you enjoyed the run through. And just last word about the expensive gear, just be careful, make sure you're educating yourself, make sure you need it and want it, and ultimately it may not be what it's cracked up to be.